The entire Indian delegation to the G7 summit of leading economies in London is now self-isolating after 2 members tested positive for COVID. The news came as foreign ministers reconvened for the last day of the talks, which had been hailed as a return to face-to-face diplomacy. Our diplomatic correspondent James Landale reports.
Boris Johnson dropping by the G7 talks this afternoon, determined to show confidence in an international meeting hit by a COVID scare, determined to show that face-to-face diplomacy is possible in a pandemic.
I had a very good meeting with Secretary Blinken.
India's foreign minister, a guest at the talks, has spent the last few days in London meeting counterparts from the United States and South Africa, even the Home Secretary, Priti Patel. But then this morning, in a tweet he said that he was made aware yesterday evening of his exposure to possible COVID-positive cases. As a measure of abundant caution, I decided to conduct my engagements in the virtual mode. India has suffered grievously in recent weeks, and it appears 2 junior officials may have travelled while infected. The Foreign Office has imposed tight COVID rules at Lancaster House, and the Indian delegation had yet to attend any meetings here. But the cases were picked up by mandatory daily tests. The Foreign Secretary said the problem had been managed and it was vital for essential diplomacy to continue.
We've done this in a very secure way, but we've got to get governments together, leaders together, countries together, if we're going to solve what is clearly not just a global pandemic, but a global plan for recovery.
So today, the Indian minister joined the meeting in the now traditional way. Officials say the discovery of these 2 cases show the effectiveness of the tight regulations they put in place. But it will surely raise questions about whether it's too early for face-to-face diplomacy like this, and whether future planned international meetings should go ahead in person as planned. As it happened, the pandemic was top of today's agenda. The ministers agreed to produce more vaccines, share them more fairly, but there was no promise to spend more money doing so. James Landale, BBC News.